Shara, welcome to the next session of Strange Seeds. Um, as usual, people in the chat, let us know how the sound is doing, and we'll have everyone say hello to check their sound as well. So, Thomas,
Hello.
Q,
Hey, hey.
Pharaoh,
Hi, everyone.
and Alana.
All right.
Cool. Well, thank you. And as you can see, Celia is still kind of off stage for the moment. That is not a permanent thing by anything. We will be seeing Cap, and will be coming back in. Um, uh, they are experiencing marital bliss and that sort of thing. So congratulations to them. But we definitely have not seen the last of Cap or of Celia. So hey, so let me do my basic stuff. If you like what we do, Patreon, you know, um, and buy stuff from Cyan. And it's a note in the chat that from Junie that for Pharaoh that she bought Bunster,
Oh,
Aw.
how wonderful.
and she
My
says the art.
wife will be delighted.
Yeah, she says the artwork is delightful.
And even better.
Yeah,
Yep, I will
exactly.
tell her. Thank you so much, Junie.
Yeah, and once again, thanks Junie for being here. Junie's one of our most stalwart supporters, and so always love to see her in the chat. Um, and she shows up at my streams and that. So Junie's kind of definitely kind of made herself a special member of the community, such as it is. Okay. So in terms of announcements, we will still continue to be doing this game on the first Sundays. There's some question about what was actually will happen in July, since I will be out the first week of July, so we'll talk about that. But the first Sunday in June is June 5th, and so that will be the next session is. Um, the next of the unwritten out of character streams, which Ellery generally hosts, will be on, I think it's the 28th. Um, but now that I said that, I'm not entirely certain. But definitely definitely keep track on our messages, and we'll get that out there. I'm not sure what the next topic will be. Um, Ellery will be back doing that one, and we will announce that topic as soon as we got the details on that all set up. The our Tuesday streams are continuing on. We're in the middle of Myst 5. After Myst 5, we'll go into the Myst Online Real Live content, um, and then into some of the fan content. And I've actually not seen most of the new fan content, so you'll be, on that stream, you'll be seeing it, seeing my initial reactions to it. So, um, you know, you know, I kind of go into the reaction YouTube bids there, um, and we can get it all sorted together. Let's see. Any other important things from our side? No. I know that Farrell, you have information and about what your talented wife is doing.
Yep. Uh, as Junie Girl mentioned, my wife's newest children's book is out, Bunster. And as you can see behind me, this way, is art from the newest Inktober book that my wife and I did. It took us a little while to get it out and published, but it is now, it will be available on Amazon as soon as my wife clicks the button. Um, and it is themed around griffins, and one of the later ones involves a griffin plush. Uh, so yeah, that's what we've been up to. Thank you very much.
Sounds great. And I wanted to thank everybody, all the players here, for stepping in on the session where I was unwell, and I really enjoyed the sort of retrospective and discussion. I got a chance to sit down and watch that, um, and it was really interesting to hear everyone's opinions about how their characters developed and how things were going, um, and likely. Probably we may want to do that more just on a regular basis as a planned thing, because I think it was
Mhm.
really valuable and really interesting. So
Yeah, we all had a great time.
yeah, it looked like it. It was really fun. So, oh hey, Now we will go on to our recap, which Farah's gonna be doing since it's been a little while, and then we will head on into the adventure.
In summary, the world came to an
Yep.
end.
Hi, we're done.
uh, in slightly
Oh.
longer summary, uh,
It was our fault.
well, yes. It- uh, Tome and her grandmother had a conversation, almost a send off, a sending off with blessings, as I recall. And uh, then part of the team left, and I can't remember exactly where they went. Let me check what I have, what was posted earlier. Right, Tome left to see who was spying on us, and then Mashavan and Leah, or was it Kenneth? I think it was Kenneth, took Tome's grandmother to Lost Hopes.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah.
in spite of our protestations, she said that we should leave her there and that everything was fine. And after some convincing, we did. Um,
It wasn't the original plan was to for her to stay with Kenneth's parents, but then she just didn't want to continue.
No.
the
Yeah.
journey.
I noped out of that.
Yeah,
She
pretty much.
she was like, no, I want to go to the graveyard. We're like, really?
Yep.
It's pretty, but
So Tome discovered who was spying on us, all of the people that were spying on us.
so many people.
And she ended up chasing one of them. And after an exciting chase through the streets of Denis and the rooftops, as I recall, she caught up and discovered it was herself,
No,
but
Tome.
probably from the future. Maybe that wasn't clarified at the time.
Quote, can't talk now because I don't remember much. Nothing is set. And then
Yep.
Zip.
And then
Seems to
exit
be
stage
wearing,
left.
Yeah, because it was Nome, right?
yeah,
Yes.
wearing a familiar outfit, but a little bit more worn down. So,
Mhm.
and I think Landris came along as well.
yes,
Yes.
Landers and Toma were facing. Yeah.
So then at the earthquakes started happening, like big heavy earthquakes beyond what is normal for Denis. And we decided that now was a good time to get the seed. And so we arrived at the building where, in theory, the seed was, only to see Escher, our nemesis, whom we had never seen before.
It's that dude with that terrible accent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he was working on some machine in the wall or something, and there was maybe some gas grenades involved, and
Maybe.
Smoking people out.
Mhm. And then we all
It's
charged
not
in
the
with our
best.
gas masks and used our keys to unlock the what turned out to be a vault in the wall, and inside was a chest, which was glowing and all mysterious. And we shut the door and decided, well, we're going to take it back to Landris's age. And the chest was vibrating and shaking, and so we all linked over there with the chest. And Tome, I believe, made, it was locked with one of the hand locks, and she decided to unlock it. And then out came this floating, glowing seed, big flash of light, and there we are, still in Landris's age.
Still Landris's age, and there is
Is
a
small
sort of
tree growing?
tree. Yeah, there's a tree, a small tree growing where the seed was used to be.
Mhm.
And
Eh,
so yeah,
And we cannot link back to Denis
yeah.
because those linking
So
panels are blank.
yeah, and this is a question I wanted to go over again. Is exactly what linking books do you have with you in Landris's age there?
Basically anything other than the copy, because we made copies of everything.
Okay.
And we had the copies of the ones, what's his name? Oh, crap. It's been a couple
Evelyn?
months. Not
Evelyn?
Devlin.
No? Those 5 that he gave us in the first place?
Yeah, well, so we have the originals for all those in my
Mhm.
age. The
Mhm.
4 that, oh man, he hates my Gus. Why can't I remember his name?
Helen?
Helen?
Helen, there we go.
He blocked it.
The,
It's just
yeah, the only ones we don't have in Landris's age are copies of like the 4 that Tellen gave us, and we have copies of each of those in our office. But basically, everything else migrated to Landris's age because after the murder rock explosion at the office, we didn't keep anything important there.
Okay.
That's true.
So,
like the books
we've
for
got books
Helen.
for Heller,
Yep.
Kellen,
Kenelin.
Ishna,
Kenelin.
Unai,
Uh,
Kenelin,
Yep.
Sallow,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
and then the
I
link
think-
back to the office and a link back to the maintainers area.
and
Yep.
now a link to where the vault was because remember I wrote that book so we could link right to the door
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
of the seed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I
that's
think
true.
the only one we don't have access to is Devlin's age, where the Kennelites went.
Okay.
That
Good
is
one.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's disturbing.
I'm sorry, Tomei. Sorry about your extended family. Oops.
They're now in some age somewhere.
Find some way to check up on them in the future.
Somewhere, yeah.
At least they're not dead.
Well,
and
I would
funny
assume
like the
if we
rest of
went
them.
back, I would assume if we went back to Kennelin, once everything kind of unposes itself, that there would probably be a book there
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's where we were doing all that linking originally.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually the people who met the worst fate in all of this.
Oh no, of course
For better or
not.
for worse.
Okie doke. So, the 4 of you are in Landris's age. You're in that chamber that you've become so familiar with. You do hear the sound of rushing water. It sounds different than the usual, jellyfish spout. The jellyfish spout kind of like happens in bursts, but you hear a consistent sound of flowing water from a different angle, a different area. And like I said, you've got this tree, kind of in the middle of the chamber, that wasn't there before. It's small, sapling size, but it seems seems very healthy.
This is never going to get enough natural light down here.
That's
Terrible,
probably true.
terrible place for a tree.
Yeah. So, what are you guys doing?
So when we look around, apart from the changes you just described, all of the surroundings that we can see are the familiar surroundings from Landris's age. Okay.
I'm going to look around and just sort of make sure that we don't have any unintended guests from some weird wonkiness with linking back a seed box.
Okay, you're just gonna kind of search the area.
Yeah, I'm gonna search the main cavern that we have there, and then the offshoots that we have like thoroughly mapped out.
Okay.
But I'm gonna because no, I have no reason to believe that anything's different other than sound being different. So I don't think Landris is that smart. So no, he's not gonna leave a fire marble tray behind him so he can find his way back. And we're gonna see how that goes.
Okie doke. Yeah. The main thing that you find, nearby is one of the other areas that you had mapped off, one of the other branches that you mapped off, which used to be just, another tunnel that kind of went on for a while. You do find, essentially looks like you're in the middle of there's there's a gout of water going through, like someone had put a waterfall right there. Um, and it's the water is rushing through pretty vigorously, and the water it seems to kind of go down a bit from there, and then get the water kind of splashes into the root systems, and kind of goes um, goes down and soaks into the root systems in the ground and such.
Well, that's new.
Yes.
I always love that living behind a waterfall idea.
Mhm.
I've
Well,
heard.
I think we do now. But okay. So is this in one of the ones where it's got like the path that like goes up and then a path that goes down, or is this just like a regular
It just sort of
tunnel
like
path?
it's sort
Okay.
of like someone had like take the regular path that kind of went along, and just someone had just dropped a big waterfall in the middle intersecting the path.
Somebody's been playing too much Sims.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
all right. So yeah, he's gonna go back and kind of report on this and let everybody else know.
Isn't there a river going through our little cavern here?
Yes, because that's where the jellyfish come from.
Yeah. Is that still going? Oh, no, it was empty when we first got here, and then, or after the seed, and then suddenly water was rushing through it.
I say it
As
had
I
fresh
recall.
water, right?
Mm-hmm. Fresh, cool water instead of warm,
Yeah.
coffee water.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of adjacent.
So yeah, the
Everything.
water system seems to have definitely changed.
Okay. Mishavan, I would like to make sure that his various bits and baubles and tools and stuff has not been affected too much by the change, whatever that change is.
No, the your things in your little cavern here are all the same. It's in the same place that you remember it being. There's no indications that anything's been moved or disappeared or blown over or anything like that.
Okay.
So and all of you, as you kind of wander around, the things that you left here are all in their same places.
The other thing I would do, because I wanted to check the book. But
You got real.
You-
Your volume got real low there.
sorry, is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. The other thing that I would probably do, because while Landris would like to just systematically go through our entire encyclopedia of books, but the more important thing, he's going to try and write a new Lincoln book to his own age.
Okay.
Make sure that still works.
Okie doke. So if you're going through the books, the books are all there. The ones that go to Denis all are dark.
Concerning.
Now, just you look through the linking panel. The linking panel is just pure black.
Mhm.
And then you'll go ahead and start writing that book. What
Yeah.
what are the rest of you up to? About Alana or Kenneth? What are y'all up to?
Unexcitingly, Kenneth is very likely just huddled over her D, continually messaging, like sending the same messages over and over again to her mom, actually. And when she doesn't get a response, she just sends another one.
Okay. Okie doke.
Alana, there you go. I was like, oh, you're muted.
All right. Yeah. I think Tome, trying not to metagame too much here. I think she's just interacting with the tree. I think she's, I don't know, she's confused that there was all of this build up to seemingly just a seed turning into a tree, and she's not really thinking outside of that box. So she's very focused on like, okay, so we have a tree now. What do you do, tree? Like, and she's like going to put her hand on the tree and look around the base of the tree, the branches of the tree, and just see if like something speaks to her, because she doesn't know what the point of all of this is.
No problem. So yeah, the tree is actually surprisingly warm, and when you're looking at it, you do notice that as you're watching it, it does seem to actually grow slightly. You know, like it's growing relatively fast for a tree, but not something that if unless you were sitting and looking at it, you wouldn't notice the changes. But you can see that the branches starting to get a little bit longer, that sort of thing. Where it connects to, or it's down at the bottom of the chamber, amongst all the roots from the trees, you can see that the roots of this particular tree has started to sort of wind itself into the roots of the age. Kind of winding around and kind of like winding into it, like it's trying to sort of connect itself to these roots.
It's a terrifying thought that new ages might sprout from this particular age. Sorry, Laundress.
Well, you know what's more terrifying than that? The fact that this age was basically genified with copy pasting sentences from other ages. That's the really scary part of that.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely trying. The trees, this new tree is definitely making itself at home.
Okay, there's something almost a little disturbingly parasitic about that. Seems like it's trying to leech off of everything else. Okay, but other than that, the tree doesn't seem to be responding to us in any way or providing anything that we could benefit from, like even like fruits or anything of that sort.
Not this moment, no.
Yeah, okay.
Give me a little bit, and since it's giving off some sort of warmth, I could probably rig some exciting stuff up.
There we go, some geothermal energy or something. Okay.
Okay, so what other? I mean, so you guys are kind of checking out the area, that sort of thing. Is there any specific sort of investigation that you want to do, or is it just general checking out and see what's happening? Because if it's if you want to go deeper, we'll start making some discovery rolls. Otherwise, we'll just ask. You can just ask some general questions.
So I'm still writing my book.
Okay.
So. And so I have some inquiries about the Dunny books, but I need to make sure that we can still make new linking books first. That's Landris' priority right now.
Sounds like everybody's still just sort of kind of milling around and getting their bearings, which is cool.
Yeah. One question though, like, did we ever decide, like, was Celia still on Heller when this occurred, or had she linked back here? I know there was some confusion.
You don't know what happened to Celia.
Okay, because Kenneth would have tried to be reaching her as well, of course. I don't know if these aren't working, they'd be considering going to Heller to look for her.
Okay. So yeah, no response, via D or anything like that. Last you'd heard that they were in Heller, but there's been a lot of running about since then.
Yeah, it could be a bad idea to go, but it's not like you can't link back.
True. So, any other questions, or we'll jump forward to the.
I do have a question.
Sure.
I am interested in the water.
Okay.
At this point, from a kind of scientific perspective. You said it's cold and fresh, and an absence of jellyfish.
Yeah, there's actually two sources of water at this point. There's that waterfall area over one area, and then there's the water that was where the jellyfish spout is.
Okay. Which does mean that my beginnings of a jellyfish-based power system are no longer working.
They're not working very well, not at the moment, no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I want to check and see if the water is drinkable, because that suddenly has become an issue.
Sure. Which one?
We can't. The one in the river that's next to us.
Okay.
Just start with that.
No problem. What should you do? A discovery roll versus research or experiment, whichever you prefer. You're going to get some basic information off it, but this gives you, if you roll really well, you have some extra. You'll be able to ask extra questions about it.
All right. So I am at a 2 for either one. So I'm going to do experiment.
It's only versus a 3. This is not a hard thing.
Applied science kind of guy.
Yeah.
And that is a net 0.
Oh no.
So, I mean, from the dice, it's a 0, so a total of 2. And I'm going to spend a fate point and
Okie doke.
invoke practical to a fault, because
There you go.
this is a practical need that we have right now.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Okie doke. So that's going to get you to a 4.
Exactly.
Okie doke. So definitely the definite thing is it is definitely potable.
Good.
There doesn't, it's definitely, there's nothing particularly, dangerous about it that you can tell. But you have 2 questions involving the water system that you can, you can spend at any point during the scene.
Okay. I don't have any other questions right this moment besides that.
Okay, that's fine. We can just bank it.
Mhm.
So, Laundress, you finish your linking book, and
Cool.
sure enough, it seems to link. It seems to look just fine, like you would expect it to. The panel
Okay.
shows here.
All right.
It looks fine. I mean, you wouldn't be able to test it unless you were in a different age, but.
Well, before we go do that, he's gonna look closer at these Dunny books because because now we've been around linking books. Landris has been writing books now for a little bit, and having been in the Guild of Maintainers, there's enough sort of core knowledge there. So when looking at them, are these the linking panels? Is it like they're just dead, like the fire marble needs to power them, like Gen's books would? Is it like staticky or crackling, like an unstable link, or is it just as if somebody's torn out too many pages and it's got just nothing left anymore? It's a lifeless void in this book.
It is just dark. So, there doesn't seem anything to be wrong with the book itself. It's just dark. So, it could either just not work. It could be that it just links to a place that's completely dark.
Okay. Is there an equivalent of turning it off and on again with the link?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, as a maintainer, you know that there's no real way to tell at this point besides linking
Yeah.
through.
Right. With the
But
maintainer
it could be.
we have.
I mean, a linking book won't make you like link into the middle of like solid matter or something like that, so you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. But so if it would link you in the middle of solid matter, the link just won't work.
Right.
But it is possible that
the endless void?
It could could be
It can.
a bottomless void.
Yes,
it could be just a room without any light. It could.
That's why
who
we
knows
have
what's
maintainer
there?
suits.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no. Oh
Don't
no.
forget the last message being some contaminant killed everyone. So
Right.
like maybe don't maintainer suit link over and come back because you'd probably be all contaminated and stuff. Maybe don't go and bring all the germs back and kill us. Just a thought, Ladris. Be safe, Ladris.
We'll see, because oh man. Okay. Landris is thinking. Landris is very clearly in deep thought about something. Landris's player isn't 100% sure what the next action is for Landris. So.
Thinking, that's a dangerous pastime.
I know.
I think this probably won't lead anywhere, but Tomei's going to do something that would have been a little out of character in her past, which is to try messaging her parents if she can, her adoptive parents back in Denis, who she hasn't talked to since she left for her school trip. She is kind of questioning who are friends and who are enemies at this point, and she's a little worried about what might be going on back in Denis.
So you're going to send a message?
Yeah.
Okay. You send the message, but you don't get any immediate response.
Okay. All right. Well, she's gonna keep this in the back of her mind and may want to pull on that thread a little bit more in the future.
Okie doke. So what's your next move as a group, individuals?
I'm now that I know we won't die of dehydration, the next is dying of starvation. So I'm curious what's on the other side of this waterfall. Landris, do you have an idea?
I'm going to grab the descriptive book for this age because it has the linking panel that views the surface instead of underground.
Mm.
And I want to see if the surface has changed.
You look through the linking panel of the descriptive book, which was kind of looking at, if I remember correctly, was looking at the
It was
shore.
a beach with it was like a beach with a mountain in the background.
Yeah. There's a beach. You see all the trees. It's not windy. Because remember that it was very windy up there.
Yep.
The trees aren't blowing in the wind, and there's something between what you can see and the mountain. You can't really see the mountain. There's something kind of odd there. You can't really. It's like, it looks like, I don't know, almost like a mirage. Just something kind of shimmery, like a heat mirage or something like that.
Yeah, I'll share this information with everybody too.
Hmm.
Because Mishavin is smarter in the engineer. Landris wouldn't come up with the thought that I've come up with, but because I'm thinking clearly we've changed position, and so why our Ds aren't working is our calibration to the Great Zero has shifted within space because we didn't plant the seed in Dunny, and so our relation to Dunny has completely changed. But Landris is too stupid to know that.
It's not Landris' specialty.
Yes.
So
but he'll still show, hey, look, everything changed, guys.
Yeah. I want to stick my head through the waterfall, like safely though. Like I don't want to get washed downstream wherever it is, and just see what's on the other side.
Okay.
Just use a book.
It's actually a pretty. The waterfall is actually pretty thick. You can stick your head into the water, but you would have to put your whole body through the waterfall to get to the other side.
Nope, not yet. Not feeling that brave yet.
Well, what if we tied a rope to you so that you can't get swept away?
That would definitely help with my worries about being lost into the depths of something. Yeah, so let's get this set up then, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rope.
Block and tackle.
Who's helping with that?
Yeah. I can just set the anchor point and use my aspect to help, get him good and secure.
Sure.
That would be great.
Sounds good. Are y'all working on this together, or are people doing other things as well alongside, or?
Kenneth would crawl out of her hole to help with this.
What about Tome?
Tome will join. She wants to get the lay of the land and just find any way to orient herself if she can.
Okie doke. So, you get a rope tied in sort of a harness style on Mishavin. Good strong tie. And so you're gonna go through the water then.
Yes.
Okay, give me an athletics check at 4.
Do we really want me to do athletics? We really don't want me to do athletics.
That's okay.
I
was like, I'm holding on to you, and I have good athletics, so you should be okay.
Okay.
It's gonna be the desert all over again.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a total of 3.
Oh, okay.
You're set the anchor point, Landris. What does that do? Maybe it can give me a bonus.
So, for me, it gives an automatic success of an adequate, or we can elect to roll if we want to attempt a better level of success. So basically, I think it just gives you a +1.
A +1 will make it make it tie.
I'm okay with that.
Okie doke. Okay, so you push your way through the water. It's there are a few places you can get your foot down in amongst the water. It's not it's not just a huge hole falling down. But yeah, it is pretty thick, and you have to hold your breath for a little bit. It's about gosh, it's about 10 feet wide as you push through it, but but I said, look, there are handholds that you can grab, that sort of thing. And it's further enough that you can hold your breath through it. You get through to the other side, and the tunnel continues. It's just really, really dark, though. Um, did you bring like a fire marble or something?
I did not. And there is no way to communicate that through a waterfall.
Sure, tugging on the rope. We
Yeah.
should have done. There's probably a tug to come back.
I mean, you
right?
do have your Ds.
Oh,
But they aren't
right.
working. I thought.
Can I send?
Well,
a
we haven't
message
tried
in
talking
Age?
to each other yet.
Yeah. So yeah, I send a message to everybody. Can you put a fire marble? I don't know. How do you get a fire marble through 10
we just
feet of?
put it in a little bag and tie it to the rope and
Yeah, there you go.
send it down the rope. Then
Yeah.
the baggie goes through the water and voila, you have
Yes.
fire marble.
That would be great.
Okay, yeah, the message does come across.
Okay.
Okay.
So you do get
Bag
the
of
message
fire
from
marbles
Lars.
through.
I mean, from Mashavan. And you rig up the stuff, the bag, and pull the fire marble through, and Mashavan, you have to dry it off a bit and then get it shaken again to get it going. But yeah, I mean, the tunnel does continue a bit into the darkness. It kind of curves, but you can go down further down the tunnel.
Okay. Then I'll go down at least a little bit just to see if there's anything interesting around the curve, kind of peeking.
Okay. You go for a while. How long are you gonna be going?
Not super far. Like when the tunnel curves, I want to be able to peek around, see a little bit more that I couldn't see from where the waterfall was.
There's some sort of something that seems to reflect a little bit of light that goes across the tunnel a ways down, but you can just barely see it from where you are. You'd have to go deeper. So
Well,
I mean, I don't know if you want to go deeper, if you want to double back or whatever.
I'm gonna send a message to the group saying there's something shiny down here. I have to go investigate.
Okay.
No stone unturned.
That is true.
Oh man.
It is true. Absolutely.
Oh man.
In fact,
to make his rope longer.
Yeah. I mean, the rope. Yeah, you don't have a. You would have to get off of the rope to go much further. It's not a huge length of rope.
Or yeah.
Then I'm going to. I want to put like a stake in the ground. Can I say I have a stake?
Yeah, you can stake, or you can grab
There's
a piece
probably
of
a
root, break it
branch.
off, and stake.
Oh yeah. And tie the rope to that so it won't get washed away by the waterfall.
Sounds good.
Okay. So and then I take the fire marble over to the shiny thing.
Okay. There seems to be some sort of wall. It's kind of shimmery. It looks like you get to it, and if you get really close to the wall, it's this shimmery sort of, almost like the side of a bubble.
Okay.
But you can kind of see through it what looks like solid rock.
That's disconcerting.
But it does shimmer. It does reflect the light off a bit. The image sort of, when you're looking through it, it's sort of weird. You see solid rock, but you see sort of a certain amount of light as well, as if there were some sort of kind of shrouded light coming through. You can kind of see some things almost like they're moving, but it's weird because you see solid rock, but you see it looks like there's things almost moving through it.
Mm-hmm. So I take a picture with the D and send it, and then I want to come back. So tie myself up to the harness again and scrabble through the waterfall, however that works.
Yeah, that's not a problem. You figured it out once, you know how to get back.
Mm-hmm.
Okie doke. So yeah, and you all have this picture of this. It's not quite as detailed as Mashavan saw it. It's sort of like I said, sort of like a reflective, like a soap bubble. Like this, like it
Does
was
it look like the mirage in the picture?
It is sort of similar, yeah. But it's you're obvious in very different lighting situations.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Do you think we should all head back through with you? If you want to do any more exploration, I can come support you. I know mine. It seems like you made it through safely and back.
Mhm.
So
And
I'm
you've got a
happy
rope
to
set across now. It's
Yeah.
tied securely on both ends.
I'm gonna touch the bubble. I know it. The walls of the tent when it's raining.
I mean, yeah, another person's opinion would be helpful, I think.
Well,
Yes.
before we go exploring too far
Mm-hmm.
and possibly getting ourselves injured, we know we have drinkable water. We do not have a food sleep. And we are underground. So if anybody gets hurt, we are going to be at a distinct disadvantage for bringing them back to health any kind of quickly. So
you want to explore some other tunnels and see if
Nope.
you can find.
that's not. Nope, that's
Oh,
not.
okay.
I'm trying to figure out.
Kenneth has her med kit, and she has some rations, so like we won't starve.
Right. Yeah. So, but I think
Kenneth is a caterer. Kenneth
Yeah.
would
Right,
have had
well,
some
see,
food.
Possibly
Like, 'cause-
squirreled away. Like I was like, oh, by the way, I've been like
well, see,
goose
because
every time we go back. You know?
so here's the thing, because Landris is sitting here because he's going like maintainer survivor skills.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's different. We need to start. We know linking books work. We know We need to have, because we do not know. We don't know if Heller or any of the other ones are safe, because if they were linked to Dunny, the same contaminant could have gone through there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we may be here. This may be home now. And if that's the case, we need to figure something out. And so Landris is thinking he's probably going to sit down because he's got that book he's been working on for the Kennelites for a while. That's already under process. But he's going to sit down and he's going to sit with you, Kenneth, and he's going to figure out what kind of stuff we think we might need. And while y'all might go, because this is where I run into issues, because the first one in, last one out, I don't think he'd be terribly like, this is the issue. We need to survive. We need somewhere where we can go repeatedly to get food that we don't have to worry about the contaminant for now. But people want to still explore, and if people are going to explore, he needs to be there to make sure people don't get in trouble. So that's what I'm like. I think
the question is, are you going to explore immediately, or are you going to do other things?
Yeah, because like for Landris, survival right now, making sure we have a sustainable living situation. Because if we're here for a year, a decade, 2 decades, we need
In which
to have
case, he has lots of time to write.
Well, yeah.
Right, exactly. But that gives us lots of time to starve before I finish writing.
So I mean,
So
what is everybody's? We can go individually. What is each person's individual feeling on this particular question? Explore more, or regroup and explore more right now, or regroup and do like cataloging of resources, etc.
Well, so I think I phrased what I was trying to get across poorly. What I was trying to say is like Landris would be speed writing, but because of his Cappella first one in, last one out, he might be at a slight negative to trying to get this age done.
Could be. The question is, I need a decision then from the group.
Yeah.
I mean, Toma's definitely reaching the limits of her patience with Landris being cautious, and she just wants to figure out what the heck is going on. So it's like a miracle that she hasn't just dashed through the waterfall yet, but she hasn't she's like definitely like her body's starting to move towards doing that though.
Okay.
Oh,
What's
man.
Kenneth's thought?
Kenneth's like, this is just too weird for me to figure out. Like she can't grasp what's going on, but she would like, so she's all for like, yeah, let's write an age in case because this place, I mean, this place was sketched to begin with. There's all the bugs and the mole people, and like, how about we just like write an ice age and go there?
Okay.
So she would be down with that, but she would be like, here, take extra rope, maybe even like a rope across the
Mhm.
path so that you can't get pushed into the
Mhm.
bubble by accident even.
Uh-huh.
You have like more time to kind of just like chill, and you can like just lean on the rope and not have to worry about what's going on around you.
Okay. Okay, cool.
That would be her suggestion to maybe help Laundress chill and be able to concentrate.
Mashavin, what's your thought?
What is Mashavin's thought? It given the excitement that was happening in Denis, Mashavin's a little leery of going somewhere else that might be connected to Denis. And would kind of like to see what we can find where we are before going, kind of like see what we have right here, right now, before going to another age first. And if that happens to involve throwing rocks at the bubble to see what happens, all the better.
Yeah.
Okay. And Laundress, Laundress obviously has his idea there.
So basically, yeah, he's gonna. So I think either way, Landers will probably still write a new book just to keep our bases covered.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a bad idea for people to check out if there's any food in the short term, because Landris isn't 100% confident in speed writing finishing a descriptive book with speed writing. Speed writing linking books all day long. They'll do it.
Probably not a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
can
have to
try
be
figure out
careful
if
when
she
writing.
can cook murder hornets.
Exactly.
I'm sure they're edible.
Yeah.
Right. The one saving grace is Landris has been working on this book since the Kennelites needed a new aid.
Okay. So what are people going to do?
Wait, V, can I just ask you a quick clarifying question?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think I might be forgetting something, but like, do our characters actually have reason to think that there is a disease or a contagion spreading through Denis? I know that there were explosions and
that was the last.
There was a message that picked up that I think it was Laundress on through the various maintainer things saying that there was some sort of contaminant or contagion and
there were
that
massive
people were dying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I would be all for trying to find a path to the surface.
Yeah.
Because we only got to our underground place through horrible misadventure. So she would be down for finding a reasonable path to the surface to look for food and other things.
So Mashavin has this sort of mystery though he's got in front of him,
Mm-hmm.
and he does not like to leave any stone unturned.
That is true.
So do you think that he would then want to go ahead and directly, explore the stone that he's left unturned for a fate point?
Definitely would want to go explore it.
So if you're going to go ahead and do that right away, I'll give you a fate point.
Do it.
If it becomes your top priority, or you can spend a fate point and then choose not to.
So Mashavin says, like, we need to know what's going on right here first, and part of that is figuring out what's up with this shimmery bubble surface. So I'm gonna go, maybe just for a little bit at least, I'll take 3,333 fate points.
No, sorry, that was a typo.
For the moment, I'm gonna go see what's up with that.
So, and Laundress, you got to be first in. You got to take care of him.
I know.
So, you can spend a fate point to keep focusing on what you're doing, or you can get a fate point to focus on that, first in.
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's 100%. There is no reason for Landris to disbelieve that whatever Mashavan's about to go poke is going to murder rock implode this cavern.
You never know.
I know.
I mean, it's not like when someone's poked at something unusual has happened before.
Exactly. And we do not have a safe exit out of this age right now.
Well,
So
we do.
are you accepting
Just
the
one of
compel?
us underage.
As far as we know, there is no safe, because anything connected to Dunny. So basically, even the age we're in right now, somebody there shouldn't be, because we're very diligent with burning and destroying all our books. But even if somebody could find a way here, we're technically not even safe in this age. Like,
Never been safe in this age.
exactly.
Not to
Landris
put
is
too fine a point on things.
like Landris is really wrestling. Like it's almost like purge protocol, or make sure Mashavan doesn't kill us all protocol. Like there is no nice middle ground here.
Nope.
I'm reasonably safe with things.
Right, and that's the reason why I'm thinking like you all. So in Landris's mind, you're the smartest person here.
Mm-hmm. So what
You're
is
the
Landris going to decide? Are you accepting the
I
compel or
think-
not?
I think I'm going to spend the fate point because he trusts Pharaoh enough to piss off Tellen. And so he's going to trust his instincts to not get us killed.
Okie doke. You will continue working on the age.
Yes.
So, Tome, are you going to assist one of the two, or are you going to take on your own task?
Tome is going to follow Mashavan. She's been itching to explore a little bit, and also Mashavan has had her back a number of times. She wants to have his back.
Sounds awesome.
Thank you.
And then Kenneth, same question.
As much fun as I'm sure it'll be to stand there and watch Landris mutter to himself and scribble things in books and go no, and then scribble more things in books. Yeah. She actually, she might just go in a different direction. She might want to go in the direction of where the jellyfish used to come up and see if there's any other creature, something that she could use as a food source to supplement what she has stored away here.
Okie doke. So you're going to head a different direction then.
Yeah, like a crazy person.
Okie doke. Okay, so we'll get back to you, and we'll get back to Landris. Mashavan and Tome, you make your way back to the waterfall. Make your way through now, especially with you've got the ropes through there who they're holding steady. And then you soggily make your way to the bubble wall. It seems relatively flat, but it still feels feels like a it looks like that sort of bubble thing. And Tome, now that you've gotten closer to it, you can kind of see you can see what looks like rock on the other side of it, but also those little points of there's some dim light and some things that seem to be kind of moving.
I think Tome is probably going to be a little more hands-on here than would be well advised, and just going to try to kind of put her palm up against the side of the bubble and feel it.
Okie doke.
So Mashavan doesn't notice this because he's busy collecting some interesting rocks to throw at it in a minute.
Pulling a chunk of dirt out of there. So yeah, Mashavan, you hear a sort of like loud, God, how to describe it? It's sort of like a screech, but not quite. It sounds almost like a metal, like metal scratching on metal, like if it had been like metal had been rent apart really suddenly. Yep. And then there's a flash of light. And then you look around and there is no Tome there.
Oops.
Whoops. the intern.
Yeah, Shaman freezes for a moment, like trying to process what just happened, and
Why,
then
Tomei? Why?
The lecture you are about to get.
and then
I'm sure that's the book.
Toma is used to her hand like opening things, right? She just, like,
Yeah.
There you go.
it's a reasonable
Like
guess.
it made sense to touch it. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm sure if I looked at it, I would have been possessed to touch it too. It's just unfortunate that it went, well, potentially went poorly.
I'm gonna ask a question, Tomei. Did you bring a linking book?
Mm.
So I said I in a I send a message to Tomei like, what just happened? Are you dead?
Yes,
Toma
I will.
replies, yes,
Okay,
I
are you?
did.
You'll probably be waiting a little bit for that. So, is there anything else that you're going to be doing there, or are you just going to wait for that?
I'm gonna uh I,
I got this mental
Mashavan's
image
just
of
like,
Mashavan. Yeah.
yeah.
I got this mental image of him starting to throw the rocks, and wherever Tomei's standing, this and his rocks come out bonk.
Right. I think I'm gonna send a message to everybody. Like,
Don't touch the wall.
yeah, if you see the bubble, don't touch it. Still investigating.
Oh, it's fine.
Everything's fine here. How are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go back to Tomei. So, Tomei, I'd like you to make an athletics check at 5.
Oh, geez.
Good at that sort of thing. Let's hope for the best. That was gonna be a 0 on that die, and then my book knocked it into a negative. Okay. So that's -1. My athletics is 3, so it's only a 2.
Okie doke.
All right.
Okay, so that's so you are.
Well, you could succeed at a major cost.
You could,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, you are you.
Yeah.
The one thing that you can realize at this point is that you are underwater,
Oh.
and it is dark. I mean, it's relatively dark. So yeah, I mean, here's the question. You can. I don't really see any as. I don't really see any aspects of your aspects that would help you at this point.
No.
So if you wanted to succeed that athletics thing at a serious cost, you can do that.
Actually, there is one possible thing I could pull in here, which is
Okay.
I don't remember what kind of gear Tomei was wearing prior to this, but I do have my dress for the occasion stunt, and one of the 2 options for that is +2 to athletics and survival. So I guess if we made a case that she was wearing some kind of outfit that enhanced her mobility, it could help her with the
She
swim.
did have her super stealth outfit on when she went to try to chase down those spies.
Right. So that
I
might
don't
mean
think it would apply on this one because
Okay.
this is that's more of sort of a preparation sort of thing. You've kind of prepared yourself for the environment,
Right.
and this is not where you expected to be.
She was definitely wearing flippers.
Yeah. She brought that snorkel that she just loves to carry around. Yeah.
Yeah, fair point. Okay.
Oh, the goggles might help. Most Dunny have goggles.
Yeah. Well, I don't know
Well-
what this athletics check means, so I don't know.
Well, actually, it might not be that obscure because we are very familiar with walking around Landris's age and random spouts of water chucking you into the ocean. So while it might not be something like flippers or something, you might have like a Mashavan rigged quick little emergency flotation device. With as many of us have gotten shoved out with the jellies, it's not outside the
Sorry,
realm of
I've just got
possibility,
this
and I think
image
that's
suddenly
rugby.
like one of those big swimming rings that look like a duck
Yep.
that pop you up around. Tomei.
Why duck and like don't question the engineering, you genius. Like,
Squeeze flotation ring, you know.
Mhm.
But no, I don't think that really would apply in this bigger one. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
so yeah, I mean, succeeded at a cost is probably your best option.
Could I also make a survival skill check just to hold my breath for a while?
Yeah. Well, go ahead and make a survival skill check to lessen the the damage, I guess it were, or lessen the consequences.
Okay.
Versus a 4.
Okay, I'm good at survival, so as long as the dice don't betray me. Yes. All right, that is a 6.
A 6.
Nice.
Okay, good. Okay. Um. So you're gonna be out for just a little bit here. So we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Okay. And Michelle is there. Kenneth, and you were kind of checking out the water and checking out where the
the Jellyfish Cavern, previously known as Jellyfish Cavern.
It's kind of hard to get through there since there is more of a constant flow of water. You do occasionally see like a jellyfish kind of float by in it, but that doesn't look, but the water is definitely not, isn't that the that sort of heated gout of water that you saw before. At the other end, you do have the little, there's the little lizards that feed off of the jellyfish when they go through. Those are still there. They're kind of just scrambling around though, because they're not used to there being this sort of just standard flow of fresh water coming through. So you'd either so you've got there's the lizards who are kind of scrambling around. There's the sort of mole rat sort of thingies that you find amongst the things. There's a surprising lack of bugs though.
Yay!
That is very surprising.
Like where? I was wondering where the water's coming from. Like if it changed.
I mean, you would have to kind of like dive in the water a bit. You'd have to kind of because it's not just like a flow of water. It kind of comes through the spout, so you would kind of have to swim up the spout. It's certainly possible. It's not physically impossible or such, but
athletics.
It's athletics, but just kind of things that how much air is going to be up there, how far you can go. You're not certain.
But I mean, the thing is she'll be pushing against the flow. If she gets tired, all she has to do is let go, and it'll help propel her back to the surface, and then she can get out. So
up to you.
It's a lot safer than going downstream and having to force yourself upstream.
That is true.
This is what she'd tell Laundress.
I totally thought this out, Laundress. I totally
thought this out.
Okay. Go ahead and make an athletics at 4.
Yeah, I would do that. Wow, why are dice like against us today? These are going in dice jail. She got a 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
At the end of the day, we have 1.
Oh, okay.
That's really bad.
So you probably think that you'd probably need more, equipment and more sort of preparation to do that, in the safest way possible.
Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to think about that a bit more, and I can go to Mashavin or Laundress next?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So Laundress, you're working on the age. Are you doing anything specific in terms of what's the theme of the age that you're going for?
So mostly, when I was originally drafting out the Kennelite age, the one for them, it was already going to be kind of a pretty well-rounded one that incorporated a lot of what was already good about Kennelin for them, so that it wasn't a far departure from home. But of course, focusing on doing it properly and taking his time and stuff. But now, because as Landris is sitting here, because we've all done it, you're working on a project, then you think, oh, I should add that in. Oh, I should add that in. So Landris has the other books that were from Devlin, the secret books, right? Because Kennelin had paper. Yeah. Right? So he's going to look for some key phases about like the paper and the ink and some of the other books and try to maybe incorporate those elements too. And so he's just sort of, if anybody were to come back, Landris has like every book open to like different pages of Garahevti. And he's just like going through and comparing and contrasting because he's not trying to direct copy because he knows that's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But he is trying to infer from context and be able to craft new phrases from that context to helpfully instill some of those so that while, yes, we have a good, well-rounded age that's got food, water, shelter, we may also, if we have to go full, like, everything in Landris's age is screwed now, and we never have another linking book again, we have the stuff to be able to start over from scratch.
Uh-huh.
So.
Okay. That's going to take some research. So
Yes.
probably what we'll do is we'll do the have you do a research roll at 4, and if you succeed, we'll create an aspect of additional research that you can use on some other rolls.
That is a 5.
Okay. So you've got an aspect of descriptive book research with a free invoke on it.
Right.
And that's going to take a little bit while longer. And then while you're doing that,
He's terrible at speed writing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go over back to Mashavan.
All right. So first thing he's going to do is throw a rock at the bubble.
Just throw it?
Yeah.
Okay, it bounces off.
It goes through and knocks Tomei unconscious on the other side.
Right. At least that didn't happen.
Throw a rat.
Oh no.
I don't happen to have a rat in my pocket. I'm sorry.
You don't keep one of those?
No. Call me weird, but
I mean, it should be around, right?
I don't know. I got the impression this
lizard?
was mostly insects.
Need a lizard.
Are there any small vermin around that I could grab and throw at the bubble?
Not right away. You'd probably have to dig through a bit. Usually they follow the roll rat thingies, sort of follow the insects around.
Yeah.
But,
okay, then I'd break off a piece of root for something organic and throw it.
it bounces off as well.
Try fire marble.
I suppose that would be no. That's my only source of light. So no.
But you have a pouch of them.
Oh, do I have more than one? Oh,
Landris was giving you a pouch because that's
okay.
Like, why would I ever give you just one?
That's fair.
I mean, but it would easily make sense that when you came back, you got a couple.
Yeah. So I'll throw one at the bubble.
It bounces.
Well, I get that. Grab that one back.
Hey, get it. Come over here and touch this wall.
Like that's the next step. If nothing,
Wait while I
nothing
set up this
inanimate is
gear
gonna
so I can, measure anything that totally won't happen if you touch the wall.
Here, taste this.
He's like, yeah, that's fair.
So I guess like, can I? There's this. I don't know. What do I do next?
I mean, it's a hard choice.
Right?
It is. Do I poke it myself? Like, okay, so is there any evidence of like disintegration or of Tomei? Is there like
No.
pile
There's
of
no
ash?
like burnt pieces of Tomei around
Okay.
or piles of dust or anything like that.
Okay, well that
Tomei has not been
leans
snapped
more-
away.
Either that is you're completely atomized and returned to their constituent parts, or it was some sort of teleportation. I think we're gonna tie a rope to a tree root and touch it. Like tie a rope around myself, tie a rope around the tree root. It's the best I got right now.
Uh-huh. And then you're going to touch the bubble wall with your hand?
With a root.
Oh, with a root.
Like,
okay.
yeah.
You poke at it with a stick.
Yeah.
While you're flash a light. That same kind of weird sound. And now make an athletics roll at 5.
Oh, I'm totally gonna die. That is a total of 0.
Ah, okay.
I
Oh
failed.
no.
So, I mean, you're definitely underwater now.
Is there a Tome?
And you're holding a stick.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all you can really tell at the moment. Because, you're now really underwater and sort of panicking from it.
Yep.
Do you happen to have survival at all?
Do I? No, I do not. Definitely not.
What happened to the rope?
That's a good question. Do I still have the rope on me?
No.
Okay. Well, as I'm drowning here, I want to pull out a fire marble.
Okay.
Do I see anything?
I mean,
Don't
air?
they explode underwater?
no, they don't explode underwater.
Okay.
They're not
Thank
like
goodness.
sodium or anything like that. They actually tend to go out underwater.
That would be awful. Sorry.
So, I mean,
Like,
you
this
see,
fire
like,
marble lantern, it's gonna be fine, and then you spit
just-
while you talk and set your desk on fire.
Yeah,
I mean, you see that
biggest
you're
worry is-
underwater and such. Do you have will at all?
Yes, I do.
Make a will roll at a 4.
Right. Come on, dice, don't fail me now. They failed me just a little bit.
Oh.
I got a total of 3. I don't see how my aspects are all about me having the initiative to doing things. It's not really about surviving what the world has
Your
thrown
initiative
in
to
my
not
face.
die is important.
I mean, you can accept Tomei had to the succeed at a cost.
I think I'm gonna do that at this point. Succeed at a cost.
Okay, I will get back to you then. So we're back to Kenneth. Kenneth is searching around. I mean, you think you can make you'd have to do some tests to be certain, but most with the lizards and and I mean possibly even parts of the jellyfish and the mole rats. You think there's some things in there you could probably get some sustenance out of. You'd ultimately have to do tests with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, even the bugs you probably could, get something out of with the appropriate, process.
She's thinking about, like, if she wants to know where the water's coming from, it would be really handy to have an engineer's insight. So she'd probably look again at her D message and go, This message actually looks like, I know the kind of messages that Mashavan sent to Audrey. She's gonna go and check up on them because she's pretty sure something happened.
Okie doke. Yeah, you make it on through. I mean, are you saying anything to Landris as you go by, or just letting him work?
Definitely not.
Okay.
just big circle of books. Just hit it.
Yeah.
Landris.
Hi.
He's like,
nothing
yeah.
wrong. Nothing wrong at all. See ya.
Because if she's wrong, then he's worried for no reason, and if she's wrong, that's great that she can talk to Mashavan about like figuring a way to get underwater and check out the water source.
So yeah, you get to where where that wall is, which is the first time you've actually seen it. But there's a rope tied to one of the big roots, and it's kind of tied in a loop, but it's just kind of lying there on the ground. There are a couple broken sticks around, and a couple dirt clods or rocks have been pulled out from this bits of places. Other than that, you don't see anything.
So there's a rope tied to a root, and it stretches towards the wall, and then there's an empty loop on the ground.
Yes.
Okay.
Loop. Well, crap.
Did
Okay.
you still have the stick in your hand, or is that also on the ground?
He had
No,
the stick in his
Michonne has a
hand
stick.
when he went
Okay.
through.
Okay, now this is she's gonna demessage Mishaven
Mhm.
and say,
No immediate response.
okay. Mishaven, no response. It'll be time to go and talk to Laundress and let him know that there's people missing.
Okay, no. So you walk back in Laundress is
I'd really be like, yeah, hey,
scribbling
Laundress,
away.
no biggie, but we're down.
So you walk in and Laundress is very focused, scribbling away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Oh dear.
I can't wait to see Kata try to break this news to Londres.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, she's not paying any attention. It's like, oh dear. Like,
Yeah, Landers is literally just like pick up another book.
Page.
do I make him tea first? So Laundress, like, Laundress, what? Yeah, no. Okay, if he's gonna blow her off, she'll be pissed, and she'll be just say like, "Someone and Mishaven are missing. It looks like they touched the wall."
The literal like the nib of his pen, like there's a
Snap.
Yeah.
he's gonna have to go back and mark that symbol out later. So he's gonna look up at her and be like, "What do you mean they touched a wall?"
Well, Mishaven just sent us a new message saying don't touch the wall, which suggests that.
So he touched the wall after saying.
And then I
"Don't touch
went
the wall."
down there to check on them, and it looks like there's a loop in a rope. It was about the same size as the rope we attached around Mishaven, and it's tied off, but there's no Mishaven inside it, and there's nobody down there. And I can't reach him, or I didn't try Toma yet. Oops. Ah.
So, okay, so Landris is gonna sigh and breathe through for a second. He's gonna grab a linking book back here. He's gonna walk over to the maintainer suits, and he's gonna bring one with him to the wall.
So are you gonna put one on?
Yeah, we're gonna put one on because this is Landris, and he ain't messing around. He's
Fair enough.
probably gonna say
It's a good thing that you
to the bottom of whatever water this
grabbed
is.
a couple. So okay,
Yep.
so you are headed to the wall.
I'm headed to the wall with the maintainer suit. I've got a linking book back to my age. And then I have, because the maintainer suit has to have 2 link panels.
Well, I mean, you
We
probably
said-
don't have one of the big ass ones.
Okay.
Probably you'd have one of the standard maintainer suits like you see in Uru, and like a pouch, sort of like a waterproof protective pouch where you would put a book.
All right. So he's got.
Yeah, you don't have like the first in might be linking into the middle of a lava flow sort of maintainer suit.
Let's see. That's what but that's exactly what he's thinking.
Okay.
Is if he's in this maintainer suit, he's assuming the worst.
Okay.
And he's doing so as he's getting into the maintainer suit. The internal struggle of what the heck to do is going on. So he brings the Landris Age book, and because only the people about the seed knew about Kenelin, and it's a hidden book within a hidden book, he's going to grab that one too.
Okay.
Since we've got a couple copies of it still. That way, if we can't link back to Landris's Age on the other side of this wall, we can link to Kenelin and then back to Landris's Age.
Sounds
and
good.
save everybody that way.
Okay,
And
doke.
that has the least chance of bringing a contaminant back through. And he will think about the lecture later, but right now,
He's already starting like.
No. All he's thinking about right now, his mental image is when Tomei blew herself up, and he's just like, "Oh no!" And so he's hustling, but you can only hustle so fast in a maintainer suit.
Yeah.
And yeah, then yes, Landris is headed towards with all that stuff. That's the plan.
Oh heck, are you following Kenneth?
She'll watch him go.
Are you gonna stay? You gonna stay there at the central
I
place?
think. She's like, well, what if it can come back? Like, she didn't see anything happen, so she doesn't know that it might not just pop back through the wall.
Huh?
Right. So
Yeah,
she
no
doesn't
idea.
know about the teleportation thing. She just knows that there's evidence suggesting that someone touched the wall and that they tried to do so safely and it went poorly.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be down there waiting in case they come back through the same way they came.
Okay, so you'll be waiting by the wall.
By the wall.
Okay, and Laundress, you touch the wall.
Yep, with the maintainer. Yep.
Okay, do athletics, but at a 4 for you, since you're wearing a maintainer suit.
Yeah. That is a 7.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, when you have a +4 athletics, it's kind of crazy.
Okay,
That's when you roll
you
well.
touch the wall.
Yeah, that too.
Boo! The flashlight. That kind of weird metallic sort of thing. And from Kenneth's perspective, you're gone. From your perspective, you are now, floating in the water. You're down far enough that the light has gotten dimmer. But you have your bearings, and you can look around, and there's a little bit of air in the maintainer suit.
Do I see my wayward people?
Yeah. And you're looking around. It's kind of dark, but you don't see anybody immediately. Well, but when you look around, you see that the bubble wall behind you, extending upwards and downwards.
Cool.
And actually,
that's fun.
All directions, upwards, downwards, left, right, from behind
that's
you.
Fun. Am I neutrally buoyant or am I sinking?
You're sinking a little bit, but you know that with a little bit of work, you can get yourself to the surface, no problem.
Yep. Before I get myself to the surface, I'm gonna look around because I know I have at least 2 minutes of air in this thing because of how maintainer suits work. So I'm gonna look around, see where my people at.
Okay. You don't see anybody like floating where you are. People tend to be buoyant, though.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna head to the surface.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep my eye out for big giant fish.
Yeah, I mean,
sure
you'll see
I'm not
small,
weed-wise.
like, marine creatures of different sorts, a couple different types of jellyfish, that sort of thing. When you get to the surface, and one thing you've noticed is that, the wall behind you sort of, as you go up, starts to kind of curve in a little bit. But when you break the water surface and you see in different directions, you see, to one direction, you see someone floating in the water, and in the other direction, you see someone that's sort of like is up against a rock that's sort of that's kind of poking up out of the water. They're kind of like floating but up against it.
Are they floating face up or face down?
The
Can
one
I
that you can
tell?
see, the one you can't tell on the one that's over to your left, but the one that's by the rock is floating face up.
Which one is closer?
The one by the rock is closer.
All right, I'm gonna go by the rock first, because if that person is on a rock but gonna float away, I can at least secure them to the rock and then go for the other one.
Okay, that's Mashavan.
Okay, is he unconscious?
He is unconscious.
Yep, I'm gonna tie him to the rock and then go for the other one, which I assume is Tomei.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, with your your excelled on your athletic stuff, moving about in the water, you're trained for this, that sort of thing. You get Tomei. Tomei was floating face down, but you get her kind of face up and sort of get there's some water kind of coughs. She coughs up some water, but there's she's not all there, but her body is still responding.
Good, good. We're gonna take her back to the rock
Okay.
with Mashavan.
Okie doke. So you've got Mashavan, and you've got Tomei, and like I said, because of how well you did on your roll, this hasn't been a problem at all. You just like I said,
Cool.
you've been trained for working in a maintainer suit, this sort of thing. But yeah, you've got that. There's that bubble wall sort of thing behind you, and it goes up into the air, and you can see it forms like it's just a huge dome. And you can see over that way is the beach.
Okay, that's fun. Yeah.
And
okay.
then you can see that there's the trees and everything like that, and then there's this bubble dome behind the trees, and you can't see the rest of the island beyond that.
Yep, that's fun. Okay, cool. Do either of my linking books look like they work here? I've got one unconscious person and one person that's coming to, and Landris is thinking about the lecture.
So I mean, they both look normal in the sense that you can see the stuff through them.
Right.
Nothing nothing looks amiss with them.
Right. But if I were to try to link to my age, is it a you're still in your same age kind of a thing?
You'd have to try it.
All right. Well, I'm not going to try that until.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you recognize the beach.
Right. Oh no, I recognize the beach.
Yeah, I
but
mean
I
that's
don't know
your
if that
age's
weird-
beach.
I don't know if the murder bubble is gonna.
The murder
mess
bubble.
with things.
Now it's a murder bubble.
Yeah.
Hasn't murdered anybody yet.
It certainly has tried, though.
It tried. I got an unconscious Mashavan and an almost drowned Tomei. It tried real hard.
Legend.
It tried harder than those rocks ever did. So, yeah. So yeah, he's just okay. So we're not going to actually try any linking books right now. We're going to wait till Mashavan's awake and ask him if now, having experimented, does he have any new insights on the crazy thing that brought us all into the water?
Well, actually,
Also, I'm going to keep my eye out for warks.
Oh yeah, there you go. Tomei is the one who actually who comes to first. Finishes coughing up and then kind of flails around in the bit, and then you manage to calm her down. It's like, no, I got you. So
Yep.
Tomei, you are now coming to consciousness. You're coughing up water. You've got a serious consequence of half drowned. So you're definitely not feeling good. You've definitely been through the ringer here.
Oh,
But Landris is there, in a maintainer suit, and you've got Mashavan, is also kind of lashed to the rock with his head up above the water and just is out cold.
So Timot's gonna say, kind of coughing out water to Landris. It pains me to admit this, but I'm going to be the bigger person and let you know that you were right this time. Wasn't even trying to be especially reckless. I don't know. I thought I could commune with the bubble or something. I did not foresee this.
Commune with everything else. Why not the bubble?
Yeah. I'm sure Kenneth will make some tea later. Why don't you rest? And we'll wait for him to wake up, and he'll gesture to Mashavan. And then it will only now real because he was going to say, I'm sure Kenneth will make tea later. It only now dawns on him, I should message Kenneth, and he'll say, hey, we're okay.
Yeah, first aid person would like to know what's going on. You bring it up, there's already 50 new messages. Like, where are you?
Yep. Well, because I assume it's probably been like 5 minutes, and Kenneth's just standing there at the wall, like,
Big,
So I'm the only one left. Everybody
Tossing
died.
things at it, watching it bounce. Yeah.
She's playing like that the thing like they do with they
So
throw the
she
rock at
actually would go
the
get the
wall
ball
and catch it,
and
throw
try
the rock
to
at the wall and
Yeah,
catch it.
exactly. But you're probably going to need to get Mashavan to someplace a little like onto shore so that they can get some more medical attention before he becomes conscious.
Yeah, the less pain, the more pain Mashavan can go through while unconscious, the better, I think.
But yeah, so
Also, but you're making a wild accusation that Landers wants to go back through that bubble.
losing your voice, your sound a little bit there again.
Sorry. So you're making the great assumption that Landris would like to go anywhere near that bubble again while carrying another person, because Landris just gets all sorts of terrible imagery of like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly with the weird Mashavan Landris amalgamate coming out the other end. And
I wonder if
Landris
It
ain't
could
having
be like
any of
two
that.
Vicks. It could turn out okay.
Yeah. So
True.
Laundress and Tome, you are there on the water, on the rock, sort of in the water. I said Mashavan is going to need to be on dry land for, or at least something a little bit more stable, before you can really do some first aid on him. What you doing?
Does Tome, I assume, given that Tome is severely half drowned, that she can't be too helpful.
Not too helpful, no.
Okay. Well, she wants to help if she can, but she'd probably end up hurting herself in the process.
So, okay. So in an effort to try and make things a little bit easier, because even though Landris would be like, he's not smart enough, he's got to be smart enough for 1 minute here.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so because
Landris
Landris
isn't
would be like,
dumb; he's just earnest.
well, exactly. But Landris would think, I do not know the exact point we came through the bubble. I'm not chancing going through the wrong point of the bubble and winding up inside of a mountain. Right? So that's why Landris doesn't want to move, because Landris doesn't understand the bubble. He understands linking books and that kind of crap. This is new, and he doesn't want to chance it. But
that's fine.
Is there something on the maintainer suit Landris could look at to see if maybe there's some kind of readout that could say, hey, yes, if you go through the bubble, maybe people won't die?
No. I mean, you can see the shore.
Is there a
But
connection to
there's
the
nothing.
Great
There's no
Zero
like
here?
readings or anything like that on the maintainer
Is there
suit.
is there any on the shore on this side of the bubble?
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. The shore is
we'll
on
go
this
there.
side. The shore is
Okay.
inside the dome.
Okay.
You're just
Okay,
out.
then, yeah,
You're
we'll
just
do
out
that.
in the ocean.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that then, because I was under the impression that I had to go through the bubble to get to the
Oh
shore.
no, sorry about that. No, you are inside the dome, and the shore is inside the dome.
Cool. All right, so yeah, we get Mashavan to shore.
Okay. Now, Tome, are you going to try to make it to shore with them, or are you going to hold on to the rock for now? What's your plan?
I will. Well, can Tome intuitively sense what the level of that athletics check would be?
It would be hard. It would be very hard for you, whatever it is.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a rope. Laundress
I would
could
say,
try and drag her behind because she has enough to like keep her head up, and he could like swim with the shopping. That's what I would do if I needed to move two people at the same time.
So, Tome, are you gonna hang on to the rock for now, or?
Yeah, I think she'll hang on to the rock until she either gets to the end of a rope or something that floats.
Okay.
Because I could either tie the rope to her to let her just kind of have that safety net, or I could just come back for her.
6 of 1. What do you want to do?
How independent does Tome want to feel? I guess that's the question.
I just
If
want to
anything.
join you on shore. So if there's any way you can help, please feel free to throw me something useful.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just come back and get her and bring her to shore too. So
Okie doke.
bring Mashavan first because he's less dead weight.
Okay. I'm gonna have you just you'll go ahead and you make it to shore. You make it onto the shore.
Okay.
And you kind of get Mashavan out there, and do your basic sort of like make sure that there's not kind of get the turn on his side, get the water out of his lungs sort of
Yeah.
thing. He's definitely he's still unconscious, but he's definitely alive.
Hooray.
But so I'd like to stop for a break right here.
Okay.
So if we got about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back, and then we will deal with our friends, our friends here, our waterlogged friends on the beach, and Kenneth as well, who's not waterlogged yet.
Yes.
But the day is early.
So Landris is going to turn and look at the water at some point in time. He's just going to see the little moles that Kenny keeps throwing through, bob into the surface.
Still throwing the mole through. Ah! But no. Okay. We'll be out for about 10 minutes, and then we'll be back. Thanks a lot. Shara, and welcome back. Um, Welcome back from break, and we are ready to continue with our adventures. Hopefully, you can hear us okay. And if you can't, let us know. But that being said, we will continue. So we've got Laundrist and Mashavin and Tome on the shore, uh, up above, and Mashavin is still unconscious. Tome is conscious, but not feeling very well about it. And Kenneth is below, in sort of the main chamber area. And Laundress, you said you had messaged.
Yeah, when we were sitting on the rock, I would have tried
Oh,
to
you got
get
some
it.
audio weirdness, some static
Oh,
and
is
stuff.
this better?
Yeah.
Hold on. Is this better?
Yes. Much
Yes.
better.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, it was rustling with the coat, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
And you and messaged Kenneth, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
while we were all on the rock, I messaged Kenneth. So that would be before we got to shore.
Okay. Okay. So, of the conscious people,
Yeah.
what are you doing? So, Laundress.
So, I mean, I got Tome to shore.
Mhm.
I got Mashavin to shore.
Mhm.
I'm going to kind of just keep an eye on Mashavin, listen for Kenneth's response on my D, and start taking notes on some of the other oddness around us. I'm going to take notes because this is clearly my shore from my age, but it is not the shore that I wrote. So I'm going to start taking notes about what the actual differences are between now and what I originally had written the link to be.
Okay. Now this is the shore hasn't changed since the first time you actually visited, but it may be different than what you intend.
I would say it's changed very significantly. There's no wind anymore.
Okay, well,
Like,
there's no
this is
wind, yeah,
strange.
but I mean,
Like, we couldn't hear ourselves think before.
this is true. I mean, it is there is no wind, but what is Kenneth up to?
Is going to write back like, where are you? Do you need medical help? Like, if he doesn't answer back, she's going to be considering jumping through in her own maintainer suit. You better get on that.
Now, if it wasn't Landris, there would probably be some joke there, just like, "Oh my God, it's oh, but no, it's Landris, so he's going to be actually serious, and he's going to say, "I think we're on the shore," and kind of like give, because Solia has like this whole place mapped out, because that's one of her things. So he's going to give her like the grid square so she can reference on the map, like where we're actually at if everything is still the same, right? And I think that would be the response, and then just throw in the, is there a safe way to wake up an unconscious person?
She'll ask, unconscious from what?
So now I'm finally so I'm gonna look for what Kenneth would look for, but worse. So I'm gonna look for like a concussion, because very clearly if he's got a spine injury, that's out the window because I brought him to shore. But like, I'm gonna look for like concussion, or if it's just like the partial drowning or anything like that.
Do a medicine check at 3.
Yeah.
Oh. It's a -2.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you're not gonna. It's not like you accidentally shove your fingers down his throat and like choke him or anything like that. But you definitely know that that someone who he needs to be examined by someone who knows medicine better than you do.
So I'm reminded of a Star Trek Voyager episode where the doctor loses his medical memory, and he looks at a guy in sick bay and said, "He's a very sick man."
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what he's a very sick man. That is exactly what comes through on the D. Clearly he has lost his mind because he touched this bubble without any, after warning everybody else not to touch the bubble.
She would He obviously wants to come to where you are. Check the patient. But is there another way to get to the surface from where she is without going through the bubble?
There's only one
There's-
other way that you guys know to the surface, and that's the way you first originally came in, which is
with the
through
pittons and stuff.
Which is, yeah, the water's running the wrong way for that.
Well, the water is running outward towards it.
Oh,
But it does mean going underwater that way
yeah.
and
Well,
out into the ocean in a different direction.
well, she can be prepared for that. She can
Oh, so-
grab a float. She
so-
knows she's gonna be wet. She can throw on a float, grab a flotation device and all her gear and float herself out there.
Right, that's what I was saying. Landris could watch for you when you pop up too, just in case.
Yeah. Do I know if she takes the other way, is she gonna be inside the bubble or on the other side of the bubble?
Who knows?
So Landris would recommend grabbing a maintainer suit and coming through.
Going through the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because at least with a maintainer suit, you have oxygen.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she'll do that then. She's actually super pumped to do this.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and make
Yeah.
your athletics and roll at 4.
And she's got a 4.
Okie doke. Yeah. You have the same experience. You pop up, you're into the water, and you've got a little bit of air time because of the maintainer suit, and then you can just struggle your way to the surface. And Landris, you see a maintainer's helmet pop up above the surface over back where you were.
Yeah, try to signal to her, and if she's struggling, get her over to the shore because we don't want the first aid person.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Celia, we don't know where she is still, which is still mildly concerning to Landris.
Mhm.
But we're one problem at a time.
Mm.
Okie doke.
Okay.
You're gonna just swim to shore?
Yeah. I'm to shore.
Let's give us send one more athletics roll. At 4. Actually 3, since this is
It's got a 5. Oh
Okay.
wait. Nope, 4.
4. No problem.
Yeah.
You make it to shore. So yeah, and Tome is there. Definitely does not seem at in the best health. But is awake and coherent. Mashavan is not
Yeah.
awake,
Yeah,
neither awake
Okay,
nor
that
coherent.
Mashavan is first. So she
I'd let you.
assess him.
Yeah, I think Tomo's gonna sort of say, coughing, like, help him. Help
Yeah. I mean, it's the rule of
Okay.
triage. If he's not dead, make sure he's not gonna die.
Yeah.
And then treat wounds as they are. Like Tome isn't bleeding.
Mhm.
She's awake. She's therefore, until she determines what's wrong with Mashavan is her priority.
Okay. Go ahead and make a medical roll at 4. Medicine roll at 4.
Seriously? She's got a 2. Stupid dice. They're the worst.
So you rolled a 2 total.
Yeah, 2 total. I got 2 pluses, 2 minuses, and she has a 2 to medicine. So, yeah.
So I mean, if you can get you might be able to tag expert maker of rock soup, but you'll need to get a couple people to help you out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can't get Tome to help. I mean, Tome's incapacitated.
I mean,
We can
Tome is
get
not
Landris.
incapacitated, but definitely not doing well. I mean, Tome could probably help some
well,
too. Or...
She's worried that she might still have too much water in her lungs. Like she would rather Tome be getting in, put Tome into a recovery position, finish draining her lungs so that she doesn't go to sleep and not wake up.
Oh, good idea. Good idea.
If you're partially drowned, you still have water in your lungs. We need to drain it.
Yeah.
But without knowing what's wrong with Mashavan, it's well, Tome's okay so far. We just won't let her go to sleep yet, kind of a thing.
Okay, sounds good. So
can
you got
grab
it's you and Landris. So
Okay.
Okay, Landers, why don't you try another medical roll to see if you can help
Yeah,
out?
I was gonna say with this -2, he's grabbing just crabgrass. Like, I'm gonna make tea. Kenneth likes to make tea. That'll
Ken likes
help.
tea. These leaves look interesting. Let's boil water in them and
Okay,
follow
that's
it.
better. That's better. That's a 3. I'll
Okay.
take a 3.
Let's see here. Do. Still not quite enough, unfortunately.
Well, it's okay. It's better than a -2.
It is better than an individual too. Yes, it is. Okay, so you guys are gonna need to come up with an idea of where you could get a little bit more information or something to help with Mashavan here.
Well, I would. Well, we now have experience of coming through the barrier on our own. Maybe knowing what it's like without a maintainer suit would be.
I mean, it would be you're underwater,
helpful. Yeah.
Unexpectedly
Well, like
underwater,
probably
and
like obviously other than just tracking Mashavan into a recovery position. So it will ask Wandrus like how he found Mashavan, like what condition he was in, like what his position was and whatnot.
He was face up in the water against that rock out there.
We could have hit the rock. Too hard to know. I'm like, with an unconscious person, it's like terribly unhelpful. He's like, he has a pulse and stuff, right? And you said he was breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And he did cough up some water.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
I didn't like paralyze him by moving him, did I?
No, like she would.
Don't touch him. Oh my god! Oh no.
Like I know it's a severe consequence, but
Well, she would basically, he could stabilize his neck anyway. Even now would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And she would put a blanket over him to make sure that he doesn't get like hypothermia.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to dry off. Building a fire for him and Tome would be a good idea. So we could go about doing that until we get more information on Mashavan.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That will improve both him and Tome's state, and then she'll ask Tome to like give her a blanket, get her to lay in the recovery position and try to cough more.
Yeah, I mean you'll have to probably like take your jackets off or and such. Unfortunately, there's no other direct way between down below and the surface.
Strip as much wet clothing off as you can. Put this blanket on, and then start a fire and try to warm everybody up.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that that Mashavan is stable but still unconscious.
Seems fair.
And in a recovery position, water draining out of the lungs if need be, that sort of thing. But it's going to take a little bit of time, and probably you need some more of your materials that's actually down in the chamber below to really get any further.
What would help?
Possibly, there might be some things that you could, make some, make like some teas or maybe some sort of inhalant or something like that.
Yeah, it would have to be inhaled because he can't swallow anything.
Yeah, exactly like that.
That's not safe.
Yeah.
So do we want to try establishing some sort of a pathway from here through Kennelin back to the base underground? See if we can get that working. Maybe just whoever does that, if Kenneth does that, like she can hold her breath when she's in Kennelin just in case there's any contagion.
Yeah, she could be in a maintainer suit, but she'd be like, why can't I just link back? The whole bubble thing isn't.
Well, so
and I honestly, I haven't, like, I can't metagame because I have no idea what you guys are like giggling about. I'm sure this is great. I have no idea. Sorry, haven't played it yet. I don't know what's going on.
Problem.
I'm like, I can't even direct Kenneth to like help her do something awesome, but she's like, nope, don't know what that is. Like,
oh no, you don't know it. It doesn't know either. So
dangerous. So like, yeah, she's not into that at all. So I can't.
Right.
She'd be like, give me the book. I'm gonna link back down and get stuff, and they'll just hop back through the bubble. Like, no biggie.
Yeah, because I also have not played this game, but Landris would want to try the book directly to his age first because
she would be down with that for sure.
While Kennelin is a safer choice, it is not a guaranteed choice.
Why is Kennelin a safer choice? We're already on the planet. We're already on that age, on this age.
No, we're not on Kennelin.
No, we're already on your age. We should just link right to the the home base.
Oh, I wasn't even trying to pull in abduction knowledge here. I was just thinking about not linking within an age to the age itself.
Oh yeah,
Oh, sorry guys. See, I don't know enough about this. This is
right.
my
But
bad. My bad. Sorry guys.
no, you're
No
okay.
It's okay.
But again,
Obviously, Kenneth would know this, but I don't.
right. Well, but
Forgive player.
we
not
still.
knowledge.
But again, with the seed and everything else, it might be wonky.
I mean,
Like
it could
they-
be.
it-
I mean,
It might function like a Relto at this point.
Yeah, it could be
so
worth
what are
trying.
you going to do?
I would say let's try the Landris book first.
Okay, so you're going to put your hand on the
opting for
Landers book?
Kennelin. Yeah,
Okay, nothing happens.
yeah, that's what I expected. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna say, Kenneth, what supplies? Like, have Kenneth make me a list, because I don't want Kenneth going into possible Murderville.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
blankets
she'll-
and, you know.
So like
Yes.
blankets,
Yeah,
smelling
more,
salts.
like, more food kind of stuff, I guess. Like if we're stuck up here and we can't really move them, and getting back to a safe location, like we're gonna have to bring enough stuff to set up camp on shore until Mishavin wakes up, if we can't move him. So that's her suggestion, is to just bring like a camp kit.
Okay.
So, what exactly is Laundress going to do to get the camp kit back here?
Oh, I'm that is a 10 minutes from now question.
Okay.
That is right now. Landris is wrestling with he remembers that last D message that talked about all the contagion and everything, and he is severely trying to rack his brain for any way to not bring that here, because Landris doesn't know. This is going against everything he believes, as like as far as safety goes and everything. But we've got to get back down there, and he doesn't trust the bubble until Mishavin's awake. So he's going to go through Kennelin first with his book in tow. Pray to God, pray to Yavo he doesn't die. And then he's going to hang out in Kennelin for like 5 minutes to make sure there's not like anything there. He's going to take a look around, see if there's any like dead bodies and stuff like that. You know.
Okay. So you're going to link in through Kennelin to Kennelin.
Yeah.
So
basically.
yeah, you arrive in Kennelin. You know, there isn't really any sign left of the of the village that was here. You know, it looks, you know, kind of the same. You know, the plants are different and such, and just in terms of, you know, things have grown, things have died, that sort of thing like that. But you don't actually see any evidence of occupation. You also don't see any evidence of death. You know, there's nothing nasty here. There's no bodies or anything like that.
Okay. And the little like cave we came in through originally, where they were like leaving the paper and stuff, is that still around?
Oh, if you're gonna hike up the mountain.
Well, like, can I see where that would be?
You would have to hike up there. Yeah, I mean, it's not just not immediate right there. It's a little bit of a walk, not a long one.
Oh, because I thought, okay. Yeah, I'll hike in that like 5 minutes later. As I'm looking around, I'll start hiking that general direction.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the path has grown over and such, but you get up there and the cave is still there. There's nothing really in it. It doesn't look like there's any, you know, like anyone's been there for a long time.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Okay.
it was partially you know, caved in from the various things that happened to it earlier, but.
Right. Okay. I'm going to try and find a safe place for Landris's book here that nobody's going to find unless you're Landris or one of the people Landris tells where to get it.
Okay.
And then link back through to the Landris age.
Okay, you link into the chamber.
Okay. I'm going to make sure tree's still there.
Yep.
It's not doing anything weird.
Nope.
It's still kind of growing faster than it should, but that's a
It looks a little.
next year problem.
You think it looks a little bit bigger than it was you saw before, but you know.
Yeah, that's a tomorrow problem.
Okay.
Gonna get Kenneth's list.
Mm-hmm.
Going to get some stuff for like camping supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna try and like backpack this.
Okay.
Like I'll take like the okay, so like I assume our tents are like the big canvas ones, like the old military style, where it's just like a couple of tent poles and stuff like that.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you can-
try
you
and
can
put
whip
all
that
the stuff.
inside a
together.
maintainer suit to keep it dry.
Well,
And
and
then
that
we'd
yeah,
have another maintainer suit.
right. Well, I'm thinking about bunching it all together like that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then effectively shoving it in a maintainer suit for Mishavan or Tome,
Mm-hmm.
and then backpacking one of those. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw in descriptive book with the pen and stuff that I was working on,
Uh-huh.
so that if we're stuck up there for a few days, I can still be working on that. So we have a longer term survival method that doesn't rely on kenneling.
Uh-huh.
So, and yeah, then he's gonna skibbity bop over to the bubble and try and go back up.
Okie doke. Yep, you're pretty used to I mean, you've done this before, so so I'm not gonna make you roll or anything like that. But yeah,
Yep.
you pull up all the you pop over into the water, you make it over to the shore, drag up with your bag and your backpack, and you and Kenneth start putting together, start putting together, a camp. Um,
Yep.
and over time, uh, what's going on with Mashavan seems to be less like water, drowning or something like that. Or it's that, but seems to there's something else going on. Probably struck his head somewhere or something like that.
Oh boy.
There's no huge amount of bleeding anywhere on him. And there's not like any sense anything that's really super dangerous that you can tell right from what you can. I mean, who knows what's going on inside his head, but you know.
Mm.
So, why don't you go ahead and make another medicine roll? This one out of 3.
I got a 1.
Here.
Not going well.
I mean, at this point,
Dice
all
are
you can do
going
is
in
you can
dice jail,
make sure that
officially.
make sure that he's in a good recovery position. Try to keep him hydrated. Try to keep him relatively still and that sort of thing. Um, um, but I mean, he doesn't seem to be immediately in danger in the sense of like, oh
Okay.
my God, if I don't take care of that, obviously he's going to die.
Okay.
But he's his body is definitely trying to recover from something.
Okay. Oh dear. Well, at least is Tome on the mend though? Like, is she
Tome's going to take a
doing
little
okay?
while to heal. I mean,
Okay.
Tome, you are conscious. You're having some trouble breathing, but you can do it. Um, Tome definitely is. You're definitely going to need a lot of rest for a while. Um, you know, Needs to stay hydrated, that sort of thing.
That
So.
seems ironic.
Well, I mean, salt water and everything, but
Too much water on the
I
outside.
thought it was fresh water. I thought it was all fresh water around here.
Well, the ocean was salt water. The fresh water is coming from the inside.
Mm.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of go for a little bit more of a interim scene here where I'm gonna have all the conscious people um, make a discovery roll based off of whichever skill that you like to just kind of figure out. So you're gonna be doing some longer term. Checking out the situation, checking out what's going on, and that sort of thing, as well as then we'll start looking at things that you guys do over a longer period of time to, while you're taking care of Tome and Mashavan. So, and Tome, you can move around and that sort of thing. So you can do some of the stuff with that. But the basic things is you've got this dome. Um, you can follow the dome around, and it does intersect with the island. Which you assume it goes down, and obviously some of the under area like the chambers and such are contained in it. It's more sphere-like than just a dome. So essentially, it's just that your shore and your chambers and part of the ocean here are all contained in some sort of bubble. The plants seem to be continue to grow. There's not as many insects as there used to be. That sort of thing. Okay, so now we can do some discovery rolls. So, Tome, what sort of role would you like to do discovery? What skill would you like to use?
I think survival, since it's my best skill and
Uh-huh.
seems like an important angle on the
Yeah.
situation.
Go ahead and roll versus a 4.
Yeah, so I did roll, and unfortunately I rolled a -1, so that comes to a 3.
Okay. I mean, you could conceivably succeed at a cost, but you probably don't want to do that given that you're also kind of recovering. So do you have
Yeah.
any?
I think if we're not counting, if I'm not dressed for the occasion because I didn't really get to prepare for this unexpected sequence of events, I don't know if there's really anything else I can pull in.
Unfortunately, not right now. I think
Yeah.
it's just a bad situation for you at the moment, unfortunately.
Could I ask just like a basic question?
Oh, yeah.
That probably wouldn't even require a roll.
Yeah, sure.
So when we saw the edge of the bubble underground, you said it was kind of flickering between rock and some sort of light coming through. Now that we've passed through and we're on top of the island, what do we see like when we look up in the sky at the bubble?
The sky above doesn't look all that actually very different. I mean, you're seeing it through the bubble, but it's a blue sky, which is the same sort of sky that you had, in the age before. I mean, you do see clouds go by and that sort of thing, which you didn't see very much before because of the wind. So looking up, you don't see very much difference. When you go to the edges and you'll get really close to the bubble and look through, you do see a different land. I mean, how it works is that when you're looking out, through the bubble, you see different land out there. It's a series of islands. The islands tend to be, they have, beaches around them, and then in the center of the islands tend to be these sort of, 1-2 story tall sort of hills that are very almost more like mesas. And the mesas themselves on top are all, have green grass along the top. You can see birds flying around, and that sort of thing. So, I mean, so there's that out there. When you get really close to the bubble, you can see another image that sort of kind of flickers with it. And depending on where you are, there seems to be something that looks like the age I mean, the area that you're in, but a different part of it. Or, like when it's below, it's very often that you see rock. Like if you find it in one of the tunnels or something like that, you'll see the rock flicker. So yeah.
Okay. All right, that's helpful.
Alright.
Thanks.
Kenneth.
Okay. I guess experiment. I don't know what she could craft that would be
In terms
useful.
of the crafting, it wouldn't be useful because there's as an investigating.
No,
Because there isn't very much crafted here.
I guess notice. I guess.
Notice. You could try to experiment if you're up
Yeah,
for
she has experiment.
kind of fiddling with various things. Probably around the so so you can try rolling that one versus a 4.
Any good because she's got a 1 now. So yeah.
Roll the 1.
Yeah. Okay, all the dice hate me.
Oh, yeah, it just seems to be a bad.
This was the last set of dice that wasn't in dice jail. And now they are in dice jail, and now so I just grabbed a random smattering of the other dice, and they're proving to me that no, they still belong there.
The dice are coming together and rising up. But okay, Laundress.
So I think I'm going to actually try research while tagging the descriptive book research,
Okay.
because I wrote the book that links to this age originally.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I'm going through exploring, I want to note, because this is the first time we've ever really explored the surface, because the winds are always too terrible for us to come up here.
Yeah.
And so going to, for also the purposes of the new age,
Mm-hmm.
but for learning more about this here and what might be going on, paying attention to phrases in the book versus phrases out here, and maybe using some of the phrases in the book to identify some recognizable things to maybe help with the camp being better so that we have some more sustainability short term.
I mean, mostly I think what you'll be able to do with using when you're tagging that particular free invoke. Are you going to free invoke it? Use your free invoke, or are you going to spend a fate point?
I'll spend a fate point.
Okay. Um. So but what you're going to be getting off that is you'll be able to tell where things should be and if there are differences or that sort of thing in terms of just general trends and such. Um, so yeah, go ahead and roll. We'll see what kind of stuff you
Yeah.
can figure out.
Yeah, my thought process was is because okay, that's +2, so that is a 4.
Okay, I mean, okay, that's kind of it's borderline. So you can have or one real good question.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, part of this is also just when Landers was first coming here the first time through, was trying to compare and contrast. I copied these lines. Where do these match up? And so yeah, so it's still a little bit of that, but then I would just say, is there a way, now that we're able to explore the surface more, are there any tunnels that do lead underneath to our place there so we don't have to bubble hop as much?
Unfortunately, you would have to at least do some excavation.
Okay.
Do some digging to really to make those connections, as far as you can tell. There may have been on the whole island, but not in the part that's inside the bubble.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's going to be a little bit of work to do that. You're going to have to do a bit of bubble hopping, or, you know, write a linking book to the surface, to the shore, or actually you could go in through the descriptive book if you wanted to use it that way.
Right. Well, yeah, because basically, yeah, because Land just feels more comfortable in the cavern part.
Yeah.
He doesn't like up here because we still don't know. We know the cavern like the back of our hand at this point.
Yeah.
We do not know the surface well. And regardless, maybe there's a nocturnal species of predator that comes out.
Kind of vampires anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they all come through the bubble suddenly. Ah! No. But okay.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think at this point we can start looking at um, you know, kind of a more sped up timeline, because there's a you're in this environment. It's sort of limited, and you're going to be spending some time working on how you want to kind of set up yourselves up to survive and find out more about the area. Um, so during this time, Mashavan does regain consciousness. Um, but but has a serious consequence of recovering from a concussion.
Ooh, exciting. Severe consequence.
Hmm.
Concussion.
Those things. Go ahead. Both of you guys with the severe consequences, you can mark them as recovering at this point, because you I am going to assume that Kenneth and Laundress have been trying to do their best to kind of get yourself set. So we'll start the recovery process on that one, but you still have them currently.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are not quite at, have a bit of recovery to do, but you are conscious and you are coherent and you are generally capable for mundane things.
So when he wakes up and and understands what happens. Washawan says, "I wonder what happens if we do it again."
So Laundress, so Laundress, when he first got you to shore, because he noticed like all your equipment is delicate and stuff, would have taken it off of you, and then was like gonna let you wake up as part of the lecture to be like, "Oh no, where did it all go? I must have dropped it all in the ocean." But then after like a week, he was feeling bad, so he put it all in a nice chest that was nearby, so you wouldn't get lost. And now he's considering taking the chest away.
No. So, I mean, so at this point, as a group, what sort of things are you trying to figure out? What sort of things are you trying to do, in terms of setting up, the area, that sort of thing. What are your what's your Robin Caruso stuff now?
Oh boy. Well, assuming my brain hasn't been banged around in my head too much, let's see. Some sort of food,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some irrigation somehow with the fresh water,
Mm-hmm.
and since the water is consistently running, we can set up a simple sort of paddle wheel sort of thing as a generator for power.
Mm-hmm.
And that is probably enough to occupy some time.
It is.
A week at least.
So you don't want to go full Gilligan's Island coconut-based lock systems and stuff?
Not yet. I would like to be able to eat. Once
Eating
I have
good.
food.
Plus, you've never actually noticed if there's any coconuts. So.
Oh. Once we have food, then we'll have a reason to lock it up.
Yes.
Okay. So how about this? So you're going to be working on that. When it comes to food, we're going to defer to Kenneth here.
Mm-hmm.
And Q, why don't you come up with what you think that Kenneth would find just around. You can just kind of decide what the food what the food situation is in terms of from the things that we've already talked about. This is a place where you can kind of expand a little bit about what we know about the age.
Oh, expand what we know about the age.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the jellyfish aren't really going to be much of a food source because that's gone now. But there's going to be all these starving lizards.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it helps, Landris's age was originally based off of Unai and Sallow.
The theme of the age is what was it? An age of savage beauty with secrets beneath the surface, if I remember correct.
Yeah, I'm making sure I've got the notes right here. I'm just going back in them.
So the thing is, when in doubt, assume that that things are going to be sort of nasty in terms of like prickly vines and that sort of thing. But all can be you can assert things that you can do to make those into something survivable.
Okay.
Savage Island Paradise with secrets beneath the surface.
There we go.
Based off of Sallow, which was Iowa, and Unai, which was like the desert area.
That was the original. I think so. If there's still like salt water coming in, like there is still some, because you said there's the odd jellyfish that goes by.
Yeah.
Potentially, because it's a renewable resource, she could set up something to she can just either hollow out something so that she can keep some salt water next to where the salt water used to come in all the time, and collect jellyfish and put them in there to keep like the population going and as a food source. Because I think kind of like gecko farming.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, you are all Denis, and this is the sort of thing that is in your blood.
So I think that would, and then she would be also very interested if there's any fungus growing,
Mhm.
like underground as fungus tends to do, and if there's any grubs that are feeding on the root system, because structurally bad, but also potentially delicious and full of nutrients. So I
Mhm.
think she would be really branching into all those like really boring courses that she didn't really love as a caterer and going, wow, it's for reals. It's
Sure.
actually kind of fun.
Junie in the chat has mentioned, possibility of, tubers in the ground since it's underneath. Everything's underneath. And aware for catching fish.
I approve of taro.
Yeah, taro is good.
So yeah, and
Yeah, there's lots of possibilities, and
Yeah.
yeah, she'd be hesitant to go the mole rat route because I think she does actually think they're kind of cute.
okay, there you go.
We don't want to go the whole like, yeah, it's like, well, we could go the whole guinea pig thing, but I think she would try to avoid that. Plus, there's not as many of them around because the bugs aren't around and they kind of follow the bugs, so
Hmm.
it's harder to get your hands on those. So unless we wanted to start treating them like rabbits, but then we'd have to find bugs for them to eat, and
Sure.
she doesn't really like the bugs. So
Mhm.
I think sticking aquatic and plant and fungus would be her first go-to.
Cool. So one thing that we'll do, at least I'll offer the opportunity between sessions, that if you want to write some stuff up on any details on that and name things,
Sure.
feel free to, and we'll kind of this will be part of sort of filling out the details of what's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mashavin is working on, like the paddle wheel and that sort of thing. And so that's definitely something that, if you want to, Pharaoh, if you want to go ahead and, start thinking of what sort of, things that you would put together for, that sort of machinery and such for a sustained amount of time, because you don't know how long you're going to be here. So that may be something that you can think about between sessions as well.
Sounds great.
Now, Tome. What would Tome be focused on besides healing, of course, and also kind of opens up the idea to what parts of either the age or the situation do you, as a player, want to help kind of fill out so that we help fill out so that we have a much more nuanced idea of what the environment's like.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Tome likes secret passageways. She likes hiding places.
Mm-hmm.
She has recently discovered that she hates drowning.
Yeah.
I think, at least with the approval of the rest of the group, she might try to, I don't know if we really have the tools for this, but again, it's in our blood, right?
Yep.
She might try to do some digging, maybe to kind of create a way of accessing our underground headquarters from the surface in a way that's very hidden away. So it still feels like it kind of meets our security needs, but it doesn't require passing through any water to get there.
Makes sense.
And if there's time beyond that, I think she just kind of wants to try sounding the ground in other places and maybe just digging an assortment of places where someone or something could be concealed. And if she starts digging and it happens to lead to a larger underground system, then she would want to explore that.
Okay, sounds good. And so yeah, that's definitely an area where you can if you want. Start, just kind of saying, okay, this is what we've kind of built over here. This is what we've kind of built over here. Here are some of the tunnels that we found. But yeah, just kind of, once again, it's a space where you can be creative and add the things you want. Of course, everybody, we talk between sessions, and so everybody can talk back and forth with each other. But yeah. And then finally, Laundress. What is Laundress focusing on? Is Laundress focusing on things in this environment, or is he going to focus on like this new age that he's working on?
I mean, is that actually a question? Of course he's writing.
Okay. I mean, that may be his focus for this time, and that's fine.
That's going to be,
ask.
yeah, that's 100% his focus, is getting a new, because he does not like that we have to rely on Kennelin.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like that there could still be, as diligent as we have been, there could still be ways to get here And if Tomei tells him that, hey, there's some other people who could maybe, because I can see other things that are not this age in that bubble, you don't want to tell Andres that because he's going to freak out even more. So, because then he's going to be like, well, we have to set up a watch with all the books and everything. So it's going to be a terrible thing. Nobody's going to have fun. You know, so he's going to be focusing on writing the age so that all of our core can go to this place and we can be self-sufficient there without the risk of the contaminant coming here.
Sounds good.
Because he is still very tunnel vision on that message. That is going to be like, I've almost considered changing one of his journey aspects to the like youthful naivete to be like, you know, the existential dread of that, like just always lingering in the back of his mind. Because 100% that would be something, because that's going to haunt him till probably the day he dies now, especially because he's trying to atone and he may have just caused the apocalypse.
Well, I don't know if cause is a strong word, but you know, he definitely has been involved.
He tripped.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
I tripped over the plug, and then there was an apocalypse.
He tripped. The seed fell. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Okay.
so. He's going to be laser focused on that age.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm giving like homework, but like I said, you guys have these options to between this and the next session to think about what sort of things you want to do, or if there are areas that you're like, well, it should be something, but I don't want to, or I don't have time, or whatever. You can, other people can pick that up, or you can, say to me, hey, I think there should be something here, but I have a life. Can you have something ready? That sort of thing. We're also going to be having a major milestone as a part of this. And I'm going back to the major milestone.
Big thing.
Yeah. In the book. If I can just find out why I did it, because I think I just hit the wrong button. Excuse me. Okay, beginning of session, ending session, story arc, milestones. So yeah, major milestone's a big deal but a lot has changed. Where did I put it? Here we are. Okay.
Page 164.
I just got, major milestones on 171.
Ah, there we go.
The milestones in general says 164. But, okay, so a major milestone should only occur when something happens that shakes it up a lot. Here we are. Each player can perform all the actions that happen in a significant milestone, and thus that also happen in a minor milestone. In addition, each player can change their high concept if they want. You can increase your refresh by 1. And you can also, get the benefits of a journey roll as if you succeeded. So, if you have something that, a special things, but I mean, we talked about kind of the basis, but if you have a special project that you want to have done while you're, doing all this, we'll just put it in place. Your refresh will have increased by 1, but also, as in a significant milestone, you can spin some refresh for a new spin a point of refresh for a new stunt. So you can either keep it at 4, or you can add a new stunt on top of the stunts that you have. And because it's such a different environment, I'm happy with shuffling some of the stunts that you have.
Well, that's part of a minor milestone. You can swap out a stunt for another stunt.
Yeah. But if it says minor milestones that you can do this one thing, I'm okay with doing a couple things.
Okay.
Because like I said, it is such a different environment.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, and some of that, like I said, some of it you'll be able to think of right away. I want to do this, or you can think about that over the time of between sessions. And we will finalize the major milestone at the beginning of the next session.
All right.
We've got about 15 minutes left in the session. And like I said, I have got a pretty hard stop that I've got to do it 4-ish. But we have this time we can talk about, if either, I mean, we have a couple options for the last 15 minutes. We can discuss some of the things in these major milestones and some of the things that people want to do. with the environment to kind of set it up. You can ask questions, and it may involve a couple rolls here and there. Um, we can discuss other things with the game if you like, or we could end it a little bit early, or some mix thereof.
I did have one thing.
Sure.
Given the opportunity, Mishavan wants to experiment with the bubble some more.
Absolutely.
Not hopefully not in a way that involves drowning.
Yes.
So maybe in a maintainer suit.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely wants to be doing that.
Sure. Why don't you roll an experiment at 3 to see how many specific questions you ask? I mean, basic things like if I touch it, what happens? That's not a question, but
I'm going to be using my level up to increase my experiment because
there you go.
I'm at a 2 still.
Sure.
I will. I'm going to invoke 2 clever engineer for this with a fate point, saying that I'm gonna figure out how this works so I can do something cool with it because it tried to kill me once. I'm gonna get it back by doing cool stuff.
There you go. That's the Denis way of doing things. Overcome through clever applications of engineering.
Yes.
So what was your total on that roll?
4.
4. Okay. So you get 2 questions about about the bubble. And like I said, basic functionality, I'm not going to make you spend a question on. If I put my hand on it over here, what happens, sort of thing. But if you want to know functions about how the bubble works or something like that.
Like what is it? Only living things that go through?
It has to be something that is somehow connected to a living thing.
Okay.
Like if you poke it with a stick that you're holding, then or if you like if you're like in like a maintainer suit and you're touching it with the maintainer suit, not you, that seems to pull you through. But like throwing rocks and stuff doesn't.
Okay.
But throwing throwing one of the mole rats does.
Okay.
So they're definitely it's actually sort of similar to the rules, but in terms of linking, in the sense of you can put your hand on a linking book with a glove that's not too thick, and it will take you through, just like just like you could with a bare hand. So there is a parallel there.
I'm tempted to try like standing 20 feet away and shooting a grappling hook at it and seeing if it takes me through. That's an experiment for later, though, I think. And I guess another question is, can I kind of map out where I come out? Like if I touch it over here in the ocean, can I figure out where you go when you touch it? I guess.
So, it is the bubble seems to be, like I said, it's pretty much a perfect sphere as far as you can tell, and you come out on the direct opposite side of the sphere. Okay. So, if you touch it over on this side, you come out completely on the other opposite side. If you are like higher up on a hill or on a tree or something, you touch it high, you end up lower on the other side. So, so yeah, and the bubble seems to be like the widest part of the bubble actually seems to be underground.
Oh, interesting. That explains a lot.
Question then.
Yeah.
Can I ask, like, is the bubble getting bigger as the tree grows?
The bubble does not seem to be changing in size at all over the time that you've seen it.
Does the waterfall that's in our little cavern open up anywhere above ground?
It goes up to a point of where it seems to be coming out of the bubble itself.
Ooh, okay, that's weird.
Interesting.
All right. Okay, so Mashavan's done some stuff with that. Tome, do you have any particular questions or things you'd like to explore before we wrap up? Or
I assume that there's no evidence of other trees around here that look like the tree that we caused to grow.
correct. It is a different type of tree than the trees that are here. Um, you know, it feels different. Looks different. You know, it's not wildly different and says like some sort of strange surreal tree, but it is definitely a different type.
Mhm.
You know, so you don't see you haven't found anything that looks that matches it in looking around the island or such or the bubble.
Sure. Okay. I guess the main other thing on my mind at this point, and I'm not sure how to resolve this or play this out, but it's just that I think Tome is feeling pretty guilty about putting other people in harm's way, especially given Mishavan's concussion, which was basically caused by trying to follow her into an unknown danger. And she's remembering, how Landris established his first in, last out. I guess that's an aspect.
That might be something to look at one of your journey aspects. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think definitely once Mishavan is conscious, she's been trying to atone in one way or another, and is maybe doing so introspection as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Definitely something to think about between the sessions, and we'll see how that affects your major milestone in developments and changes there too.
Yeah.
Laundress.
I don't have any specific questions about this age
Mhm.
because again, he's going to be nose in a book
Mhm.
writing. So, I guess my question would be: do we want Landris to, and by that I mean, of course, Landris's player, to kind of take most of the brunt of figuring out what our new age is going to be, or do we want to maybe open it up to the Discord or some of our
Possibility.
patrons or the chat or anything?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is that eventually, you will need a age theme for that age. An aspect. Um,
Yeah.
and that may be something that people who are in the chat here or who are on the Discord can put in on, and that's really kind of up.
Yeah.
That's up to the players.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up to you
So,
guys decide how
like-
much you want to do that, and I'm sure that
Right.
we've got Junie and Rachel in the chat. We're all both very active, and with people who
Yeah.
hang out in the chat rooms. So yeah, so that's certainly an option.
Yeah. 'Cause I think it'd be a lot more fun to have everybody get kind of involved in the age
Yeah, that
creation
would be cool.
process. Since it will probably be a pseudo headquarters. Like we're just gonna have this headquarters with the
Move
weird
for,
bubble.
headquarters from age
But
to age.
this is buffer zone.
We're
so
gonna
that
be
we
calling
don't
it
die.
HA and HB, aren't we?
Yes.
Laundress's age, Laundress's other age. But
Other Laundress's ages.
Yeah.
Laundress age again. Yeah.
And this is the bubble age.
This is bubble
the
age.
safe age.
Yeah. But
Can you at least number them like numbers as ages?
Yeah. There it is.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
So Kenneth, any other questions or thoughts that you want to go over before we wrap up?
Yeah, actually, if I pour some of that fresh water onto the tree's roots, does anything happen? Does it respond in some way to additional watering?
Nothing that you notice off top, just right away.
Okay.
I mean, it definitely seems to be very healthy no matter what happens. I mean, it doesn't slow it down if you don't water it. It doesn't speed it up if you do. It just
They're gonna hit the ceiling soon? Like, what they're gonna do?
that'll see something we'll
Like,
figure
that's the thing, is like we're probably not gonna be able to stay here indefinitely if it's growing in spite of light.
Yeah.
Heads up. It's gonna collapse the cavern on top of our
Yeah.
head.
So yeah.
Like, this other age is probably a very distinct possibility of being our future headquarters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other chambers and such
And we
You know,
might have to
below
move
there
as
too.
well,
So I mean,
'cause
you've got a lot of
who
options.
knows how it's gonna destabilize, though, right? Like,
Yeah, it's true. You
Mhm.
never know.
Yeah. So real quick. So to answer Junie's question, yeah. So Tomei's grandmother got left on a bench and lost hopes, and then Nome showed up in the post-credit scene and linked away with her somehow.
Oh, I
Yes.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
We
So
won't be having a
she's safe
post-credit scene to this
somewhere.
session, unfortunately, but in the future there'll be more.
Yeah.
And not as regular as the MCU, but occasionally.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Well, since there's only a few minutes left, and like I said, I've got to run off. I want to thank everybody for showing up. This has been kind of a weird session, but I think it was interesting, and I think that we're going to have a lot of cool stuff to talk about at the beginning of the next session as we can kind of consolidate all the ideas and of where we are, and then the adventure continues.
Yeah.
Okie doke. And, Junie, Rachel, and everybody else in chat, thank you for showing up. We always, love to have you guys out there and interact and such. And, usual stuff. Link, Patreon, Cyan, buy stuff. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay.
Thanks,
Sure.
everyone.
Sure, everyone.